In a small, peaceful village nestled in a valley, there lived a young girl named Leela. She was kind-hearted and full of life, but she sometimes found it hard to tell the truth when she thought it might get her into trouble. One sunny afternoon, Lila was walking by the river when she spotted a sparkling gold bracelet lying on the ground. It was beautiful, adorned with small emeralds that glinted in the sunlight. Excited by her discovery, she quickly slipped the bracelet into her pocket and ran home. As soon as she reached her house, her mother noticed her unusual excitement. "What has you so cheerful, Lila?" her mother asked. "Nothing, Mama," Lila replied, her voice shaky. She felt a pang of guilt, but ignored it, convincing herself it was harmless to keep the bracelet. The next day, the village elder, Mrs. Annette, announced at the town square that her precious bracelet had gone missing. It was a family heirloom, and she was heartbroken over its loss. She promised a reward for anyone who returned it. Leela's heart sank. She knew she had the bracelet, but she was afraid of being scolded for not returning it immediately. The guilt weighed heavier as she saw Mrs. Annette's tearful face. Days passed, and though no one accused her, Lila couldn't sleep well. She avoided her friends and family, feeling more isolated with every passing moment. One evening, Lila finally confided in her mother. She admitted, tears streaming down her face. Her mother smiled gently. "Lila, it's brave to admit when we've made a mistake. The truth might be hard, but it's the right thing to do." The next morning, Leela went to Mrs. Annette's house. She held out the bracelet with trembling hands. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice quivering. "I found this by the river, and should have returned it right away." To her surprise, Mrs. Annette didn't scold her. Instead, the elderly woman hugged Lila tightly. "Thank you for returning it. It takes courage to be honest." From that day on, Lila felt a weight lift from her heart. She learned that honesty not only builds trust, but also sets us free from the burden of guilt. She promised herself to always tell the truth, no matter how hard it might seem.